sing all loud. Oh my gosh. I just had to put this comment up here because Mocha is already calling us out.
Yes. Calling us out. I love
it. It's 7:30 somewhere, okay? I don't know. I don't know what time zone is only 20 minutes ahead of us, but
I don't know about that. I was going to say, yeah.
Behind us. But welcome everybody. Welcome.
Welcome everyone.
We are here, and oh my God, I heard you say the list of stuff tonight is super long.
Oh my gosh.
Like so much that has happened.
Like, so yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was that long. It was like, oh yeah, we gotta talk about this. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this. And then I was just like, oh, this is like so exhaustive. There's so much that has happened over the past week.
Shout out to Ellen B in the house.
Hey Ellen.
Anybody else that I missed? I don't think anybody else, but I can't see the comments from Facebook. It'll just say Facebook user. So hello everybody. And I do want to make this announcement. Okay. I lost my thought just that quick. You would have think I smoked today. Oh my God, what in the world?
You know what's funny? It's like you were like,
and I got it.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So I do want to say this. A lot of people that watch us are not subscribed. Okay. What is the problem? Like, I feel like we're cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we're nice and everything. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Omega Man.
You never know what's going on, Craig. Shut up, Omega Man. For those of you who don't know, Omega Man is Craig. Okay. So whenever I say Craig or whatever,
whenever I say Craigums,
get out of here. Anyway, don't get out of here. Still watch, still comment.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you want to start with today?
Okay. Well, I should ask because I don't even know if I put this on here, but like, how's your week been so far?
Oh gosh. Okay. So this week actually has been really good, but it's been really what's the good word for it? Trying. Okay. But I will say this, like it's interesting because a lot of times when I feel like I don't know which way to go, I'm presented with something that I need to pay attention to, and it opens up a whole new path. And so I got a phone call from work today that was unexpected, but it was really like, didn't think about that. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's, otherwise,
that sounds positive.
Otherwise, I feel positive. I went out to walk the dog yesterday, and then I seen like all this pink, and I was like, "What's over there?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's the sunset!" And so I'm happy about, I guess I'm just happy right now. So
yeah, me too.
So how are you?
That's in my vibe too. It must have been because it was so nice here today. It was so nice.
I opened the door because that's my type today. Let's say today about 12 o'clock, right? That's my type of weather. The wind was blowing. It was nice and cool. I had the door open, getting some fresh air in. Hopefully it was COVID free. I don't know, because I feel like, people are still getting COVID. And Earl came in here sneezing the other day. I was like, listen, don't come in here with that, okay?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it was a really nice day. But so your week was good?
Oh my gosh, it was such a beautiful day. I had such an amazing day today. It was so good. Even some things I came through at work this week that I felt like, kind of set back by, turned out like, oh, okay, well, there's a good idea how we can fix this. And I mean, it's just a good time. I'll be honest with you, because this is kind of like one of our first topics to think about, related to it. But it's like sometimes when you have a long day ahead of you, you can kind of like, I can kind of like curl up a bit, like, or get a little gnarly in my mind, like, I'm not going to get a chance to do this or that today. But because it's like, you go to work and you come home, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it just could seem really daunting or like overwhelming. But it's like, I literally am feeling today for some reason, and like yesterday, I just felt so like good, like I'm gonna tackle this, like today is my bitch. Like I just literally been on that for the past couple of days, and today was so pretty outside. You just can't help but to just enjoy it. Okay, I will say this, because I've been watching these TED Talks, because I'm always watching something while I'm working. Are you like that? Do you watch stuff while you work? Okay. Obviously,
I can't start working. Sometimes I'll put on some little background ambiance if I want to really focus.
Me too. Yeah.
That is so small of an amount of times. Usually, I just make sure I find something that I can play on YouTube and I just have my phone over here, and then I'll be working, and then I'll be irritated when I got a meet and somebody calls. It's like, can you just
Oh,
send me an email? But
what do you want?
it
No,
is.
for sure. But I've been listening to these TED Talks. And I love TED Talks because they're kind of short. It's like
Mm-hmm.
some things I like listening to long stuff too, but TED Talks be like right to the point because that's how it's supposed to be. Like, oh, the average person only listens to what, 14
Mm-hmm.
minutes. Anyway, I was watching these two things. One was about visual note taking, and that was pretty dope. And then this guy was talking about drawing and how everybody should draw. He basically made all these bomb points. He was not American. He had this thick accent, and he kept saying vision when he was trying to say vision. Anyway, he was really good.
Okay, you gotta send me that one.
He was talking about how people communicate through drawing. He was like, if you think about it, before kids know how to write, they know how to draw. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that's really interesting. And he's like, giving all these tips of like how you
And they
should
be
draw.
serious about their pictures too.
Oh my gosh. It's
So
like
send me that TED talk.
I certainly will.
You know
But
I
it
like to
made me
watch
think
stuff like that.
about, he was like, when you're in an environment, if you, he was like, when you try to draw the environment you're in, you immediately become a part of the landscape. And it's then that you start to notice like the beauty of life. Like so often we walk past like all these little miracles around us, like the thousands or millions of leaves on these trees and like all of these little organisms working together in an environment. It's like when you stop to look at it, like if you're drawing it, you can't help but to like notice the beauty of it, right? But if you're just kind of like, I gotta get to wherever I'm going, then you kind of miss out on like all of this beauty around you. And like today of all days, and I watched that yesterday. So today of all days, how beautiful it was outside, I couldn't help but to like look around and be like, okay, if I was gonna draw this, what would I do? He also had mentioned, this is nothing to do with what we're talking about, but he also had mentioned like if you have trouble starting drawing, he was like, everybody should just do a drawing for visual expression every morning. I was like, that's interesting because people tell you to write in the morning. But it's just like draw anything, draw a blob, draw whatever you feel. He was talking about sometimes you should write circle all these circles on a page just to get your cognitive juice flowing. But then he was like, draw the spaces in between objects instead of drawing objects. Like, what spaces do you see in between? And then I started to look at everything differently. And I was just like,
All right,
wow.
so I need to see this TED talk because I don't know about that, but I know that when I was younger, you probably remember this. I used to do bubble letters all the time. I used
Yes,
to
you
try
taught
to
me how to
draw
do it.
Bart Simpson. I used to try to draw shoes. I used to try to draw a lot of stuff, but I also got into the abstract things where I would draw circles and then I would fill it in with lines and then I would color a different color.
I remember you
That
doing
was
that.
before the internet and everything, and
Mm,
before we had all these other responsibilities. But send me that TED talk because you know that I like those things. But I
I
do want to
certainly
say
will.
this.
Let
I
me
want to say
practice this
this.
in my
Like
head.
people that anybody on here that knows me that has my phone number, don't be offended when you call me and I don't answer the phone because a lot of times it's hard to, a lot of times I am doing something and that something is probably listening to something on YouTube or a podcast or an audiobook. So I don't be lying when I say that I'm busy or whatever. And yes, the call is interrupting, but it's okay. It's okay. If it's Faith, I'll answer immediately. If it's mom
For
or my
sure.
son, I'll answer immediately. But
I
I'll
got a short
always
list.
text you back. But don't get offended if I just text you back and you call because
Girl,
I'm actually, actively doing something or whatever. And I don't want to be like snatched out of my space or whatever. So I just had to make that disclaimer. I don't even know
well,
why.
I'm so
Why?
happy for your beautiful public service announcement because
Hey, Gwendolyn.
let me tell you about the other side. Listen, everybody, if you don't get me, you don't get me. It's my phone. Okay. I decide whether I want to be on the phone. I used to get so pissed off when people would be like, I called both numbers. Like, yeah, I was ignoring you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll call you back. You didn't reach me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it happens.
I
I
don't know.
don't
That's
like it when
that's
people badger me. Like, oh my god, the person that I'm thinking about. It was my friend back like maybe 10 years ago, and she was so annoying,
oh
and
my
she
god.
was such a boundary stepper. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Does her name begin with an
Yeah,
R?
you know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah, because
so
I had to have words with her, and I just got
oh my
irritated.
god. She used to call me like I used to live in Alexandria or wherever, like Arlington or something, and we would be like headed out to like somewhere in DC. And she used to call me like 15, 20 times while I'm doing my makeup. I'm like, I've answered this phone so many times, like, yeah, bitch, I'm late. Stop fucking calling me. I'm not there. I'll call you when I get there. Like, I was calling both phones, yes, and I was ignoring you on both
Right.
phones. Imagine how much work that is. And
Ella
like,
said that's how she is too.
don't call me on my phones. I pay for these phones. You know what I'm saying? I get to decide
The
how I
gangster
want.
unicorn. That is, I like that. I actually like that.
So
And believe it
irritating.
or not, like I am like if somebody does something to my sister, you get the gangster out of me. But she is the gangster though. She be ready to go. I be having to
Yeah.
pull her back, like, wait. Alice said, like, I see you calling. Give me my peace.
Right.
Yes.
I'm a calm, rational person, but like if you don't get me and you might think that, like, oh, I know she's around, let me just try to reach her again. She must hear this. Once you get to that, it's like, yeah, I did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm purposely not answering it. So please, anyway, on to the next topic because
Yeah,
I
you
think
are
it's
real like that, but I will say that because you're an Aquarius, Aquariuses have a little bit. We all have a little bit of asshole in them, but Aquariuses definitely have a little bit of asshole in them, and they're not afraid to display it to you. And she's my sister, so I kind of am used to the asshole in her, and it doesn't bother me. But just know that,
this little
okay?
baby
They do
bird.
not. But Mocha says she hates for her friends to leave voice messages. I see you calling. Listen, I don't mind the voice message, but if you leave me a voice message and then you text me and then you call me back, that's
Oh, come
that's
on.
that's
It's
irritating.
too
But
much. You
or
gotta
like
think,
at work when people email you and then they call you right after they press send, like what are you doing? Like,
you
can I
know
read
what's
your
one
email?
better? And I'm so glad that this is not really the case anymore since we're not really in the office. But there were people like this is one person in particular that would send an email and literally be at your desk before the email comes through talking about the email. And it's like, dude, I
And
got
I
it.
used to be like, okay, you're talking to me about the email you just sent 20
Right.
seconds ago. Okay, so nope, haven't read it. Let's read it together. Anyway, this is not supposed
Yes.
to be about
Yes.
that. This is not supposed to be about that. But okay, what is on our list for the first topic that we
Okay.
talked about? Because I have some other
Well,
stuff that I might interject that I've
okay,
seen
good.
all over the internet, and I'll wait till we get to that part before I interject about that. But the
Well,
world is crazy.
this one was, and we like to do content about people who are doing positive things, but also, this one got me, and I was like, oh, I really want to share this because I really enjoy her, and I enjoy her music, but I also enjoy her lives. She's like really funny. Hold on, let me share this. Ari Lennox, just I mean, like, I think this was earlier today. She had put out this message just saying like she hates that she craves validation, and she's like it's embarrassing to her that she doesn't even like feel like she loves herself and she can't enjoy what she's created for herself. And I was like, wow, because like we all have our issues or whatever we're working through, and just to know that she's so like entertaining and funny and also a great singer and a writer. She writes crazy and she's local. Okay.
Right,
Nothing
I
but
love her. I love her, but
I love her.
you don't really think about them having feelings. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's just human. So
Well,
I
I
love
just
her.
love her. And I
Hey,
felt
but the
so
baby.
bad because this is probably a very, sort of hard thing to put out about yourself because you're like, you already are craving validation. So it's kind of like, I don't think it's thirsty though. I think it's like, let me just release this so that I don't have to hold on to it. So you get healed from it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you're
Mm-hmm.
repenting or something, right? But she put that out there, but it also puts you in a very vulnerable state because someone who might not care for you could say something to you that in your vulnerable state you might be even more hurt by. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I just shout out to her, and it made me think about how actually it made me think about Just Hilarious because this is the last time I felt like I needed to support someone like in the media type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, how do we show support in a way where it's like, hey, listen, keep your head up, you know, you got this, like everybody's on this journey together. I don't know. I did feel the need, and I'm gonna send her a message because I don't know if she'll ever read it, but it's like just to something uplifting because I think we all need that sometimes, but especially for her, creating art, being in the public eye, I feel like it's a very vulnerable moment.
Well, I'll say this to piggyback on that. Like, we often look at them like they aren't regular people, and at the end of the day, everybody is just human. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes I could see, like, I see some celebrities see those positive messages or whatever, and I believe it would stand out because they probably get a lot of hate too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, doubling back for Gwendolyn, she was talking about the phone thing. She said she's retired. Woohoo to you. So I'm really flexible. So I text and call when I can. Yeah, I just want people to not be offended if I don't answer, because sometimes, like, I really am doing something. You know what I'm saying? I really am always, I don't know, I'm piddling around the house. You know what I'm saying? I might be
Piddling.
but I'm always listening to something. So it's either on my phone or my iPad or the TV. And I'll admit this embarrassing thing. Sometimes I'm watching two things at once or listening to two things at once just because of
Hold up. Hold up. Have you ever dual or triple screened? Like, this is how sick this is. I didn't start doing this type of stuff until COVID. But like, I'll literally, and this is weird if you think about it, because like 40 years ago, 30 years ago, we didn't even have these sorts of screens. We had TVs, but like we didn't have iPads or cell phones like that.
Oh
like,
my God. I found an iPhone. Maybe it's an iPod, but that joint was so damn little. It's crazy. It must be like a 2 or something. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
This is so disgusting that I'm about to describe. But like during COVID, I would have my phone, my iPad, and something else going. So it would be like, you know, Netflix on TV, or, you know, Hulu on TV, and then YouTube on my iPad, and then I'm on Instagram or TikTok, or something. I wasn't on TikTok during COVID. I was on Instagram, just scrolling. And it's like, dude, you have 3 things going right now, and I refuse to turn any of them off. It's like, yeah, I'm watching this show.
Oh, it depends for me though.
YouTube. It's like, that's really crazy.
It changes though. It is crazy, but I'm with you on it because it depends on what's going on. And I'll share a little bit about, you know, what I do. Like, so if I'm watching a show, right, I may go on Instagram, scrolling, whatever, but I actually do miss whatever I'm watching when I do that. So I always have to rewind. But then a lot of times, like, I watch certain people on YouTube, and sometimes something else comes up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, but I don't want to turn this off because I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to miss it, and this person might delete the video. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I have been guilty before of having all 3 devices going at the same time.
This is a drug, everyone. I want us to look. We got to talk about this. Is not one of the topics, but this is the consumption of too much media, especially all at once. We've now started to triple screen, and I'm sure people even
really
get worse than that.
That really is a mental issue. But
look, but I'm sure it really could get worse than that, because we're talking about, you know, a device like an iPad, a tablet or something, in your phone, and the TV. You also introduced the idea you could be on your computer. Gwendolyn is saying she'd be on her sewing machine, so you're doing something else with your hands. And I'm always like preparing some sort of food or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, so I'm always watching something and listening to like music or whatever. Whenever I'm in the kitchen, I'm like listening to something.
Yeah, when I go to bed, I put on either something motivational, or it'll just be like some sounds or whatever. Shout out to you, Gwendolyn. You sew. I thought about pulling my sewing machine out. Again, this is over there collecting dust, but I don't know what I'm gonna make when I pull it out. But Mocha says she does the same thing. She's triple screening now, watching us roll and TikTok.
Mocha, we got to get some help, okay? Because this is not okay. Like, I'm glad you wait. Don't turn us off. So, don't turn us off.
It is for me, but I definitely do that. Like, I don't know. Listen, I be around in these YouTube streets, okay? And sometimes the block be hot, okay? And I just, you know, I'll be like, oh, I want to hear what she said. I want to hear what he said. I want to hear what he said. I want to hear what she said. And then it's like, sometimes it's like, oh man, I got to cut this one off because I need to use my phone.
It's like, oh, that's why when people call me, I be like, I'm not answering your phone call. I'm streaming on 15 different devices. But like, if you think about you on your computer, because I'm always working and having like a podcast playing or sometimes I'll do, like you said, I'll do so I'm of a certain age now, and I can't be listening to lyrics while I'm reading emails. So I like to listen to like I'll just Google on or search on YouTube happy jazz, or
Mm-hmm.
I love Chuck Mangione. Oh, that song feels so good.
So let me.
That's my theme
You
song.
always have good stuff that you send me, but let me tell you about this channel that I found. I guess a couple of weeks ago. It's called Afro Lo-Fi.
Yes.
Afro
Oh,
Lo-Fi.
I know all
I
about it.
always just put that on if I need some
Mm.
music or background or whatever. Yo, it is a mosquito, maybe two in here,
Oh no,
fucking
we're
me
attacking
up.
you.
Oh
All
my
right, listen, we got to
god.
move on because we have so many topics and we're not going to literally get to all of them. But speaking of that music, I feel like even when we're at night, so James really likes to listen to the like scriptures playing at night. That you could do that on like this channel called Abide. But that's really nice to wake up in the middle of the night and somebody's like reading scripture. That's really cool. I think there's also one that James Earl Jones does it. But I would love to hear it in other voices like Snoop Dogg, or you know what I'm saying? That would
The
be
one
dope.
thing that you reminded me of, like I found this channel that like said positive affirmations. It's like
Yes.
8 hours of it. So, you have reminded me when I first started listening to those things, like listen to it while you're awake first to make sure that they're not saying nothing crazy while you're
Right.
sleeping.
Yeah. Oh, because it's like through osmosis. But another thing that I listen to a lot is like I listen to like meditation music. And if you Google or search on YouTube meditation Zen music, you can a lot of times find this music. Like, and I like to hear water sounds. This is all
Mm-hmm.
weird, guys. Why are we talking about this?
No, water sounds is good. The beach, I love the beach.
But they'll show these landscapes too
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
like bodies of water or forests or trees or things that are really beautiful, and they'll play the soothing music, and like I have a diffuser and I'm just basically in the spa at this point.
That's
You know
why
what I'm
I
saying? It's
working
awesome.
from home, because I feel like I'm more productive because I can create my own atmosphere.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That
Nobody's
is the
busting into my office.
journey.
Nobody's talking. You know. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But anyway, I'm sorry. Mocha
that's
said
so
sometimes
peaceful.
2 weeks pass before she touched the grass.
I just got so relaxed when we talked about that. Listen, well, okay, so I'm gonna switch share this tab, but just wants to give some love to Ari Lennox. If you guys have a moment of your night, if you think about it today or tomorrow, send some love to Ari Lennox. She gives us so much good music.
And tell her Faith sent you.
I tell
Tell her
yeah,
yes, I'm a unicorn sent you.
yeah, tell her, just send her some love because she don't want nothing. Like she literally just is out here entertaining, having a good time. She be clowning on her lives. Okay. She is so funny. She is so funny. Like, so, send her some love because seems like she's struggling a little bit. She says, I'm embarrassing. I don't even know when I'll ever start loving myself again. But speaking of embarrassing, I really
Okay,
don't
please
understand.
explain this to me, because I commented on one of Mocha's posts today about
Yes,
this because
that
it was
was
funny.
so funny.
But please explain the background to me on this, because I've been seeing this all over, but I am not hip to what's going on.
Okay, so Mitch McConnell is of a certain age, everybody, and he keeps going mute. So the thing that was so funny that Mocha put up today was saying, she's like, I'm just gonna leave this here. And it was Mitch McConnell. It was actually Beyonce saying, "Look around, everybody on mute," and then they played this Mitch McConnell clip. The thing is so ridiculous about this Mitch McConnell clip, and I could play it right now, actually, but I don't know. I call it embarrassing because I'm like, why are we letting this man do this publicly like this? It's happened twice now. Like if it happens a third time, then listen. He needs to just go and sit down somewhere, retire. You're having seizures or something. I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening, but I did see an article earlier because I said that. I said that earlier on, but now I'm seeing articles where they're like doctors have weighed in, and not his doctors, but doctors everywhere who are seeing these things are weighing in, and they think that he perhaps might be having seizures, but it's like
Wow.
he's an older man. And please take him out of this environment. I don't know who this lady is, but she almost looks like a nurse right here. And she came up talking to him so loudly, like she was at a rap concert. I was just like, y'all already know what's wrong with him. Why are you yelling at this man? So basically, what happens is he's at a press conference, and ironically, the question that was being asked to him was, what are you thinking about re-election? And this man proceeds to hold his lips together like he's holding in a fart. And
Oh
you can
my god.
obviously see that he was having like a medical experience. Like, I don't want us to brush this under the rug. Like, this is embarrassing because somebody should just go ahead and get him down. Because like y'all, this is our representation in the government. Like, we got to do better. so anyway, so the lady, she said, I ain't embarrassed. The people of Kentucky should be. How did he get into office?
I mean, but
His
you know, it's
doctor
a lot of.
cleared him.
If you
That
look
is
at the
really,
politicians, like the majority
come
of them
on.
are old, are up there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just, anyway, listen, more power to him. Hopefully,
I'm gonna have to
Thanos
watch that and see what
will
happens. Because I
be.
was like, what is going on? They don't put him at the Beyonce concert.
I listen, everybody on mute with Mitch McConnell because this lady comes up and then she proceeds to say, "Did you hear the question?" And he was like, I don't want to
Oh
make fun of
wow.
him. I don't want to make fun of him because he's obviously having some little medical thing, but I just think that we have to, like, come on, y'all. We can do better than this. Why do y'all have him up there? Like, any other position, any other profession that he would be in, people
Yeah.
would be like, hey, somebody would step in and be like, hey, listen,
Yeah.
we've seen this a couple times and we think maybe you should do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to wait? And then he has such a visible job. It almost looks irresponsible on you guys. It's your guys' fault, not you. And I'm just saying, whoever's handling him, who is this lady? She looks like a nurse. You know, when you're a nurse, you can't really hide it. You just look helpful and strong. And that's what she is right here. She just looks like she
Oh
could do
man.
CPR or lift him, but I don't know who this lady is. Anyway,
Welcome, June
oh
Murray.
no,
She
I
said, I
hope he
think he
get it.
had a TIA, a mini stroke. But
See, that's really,
that is crazy if they're letting him stand up there.
that's
Like,
what I'm
if this is the
saying.
first time, like, what the heck?
Listen,
I know some people who had TIAs
I am
that are like
very
my age.
okay, so I'm very, concerned about him, but that's where we are with that. And I
Yeah, I
just
just
feel
kept seeing it pop up all over YouTube. People were using it. I was like, what is happening right now? Why is he at the Beyonce concert?
like, so okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is, also concerning another medical issue where
Oh Lord.
50 Cent decided to throw a microphone,
He pulled a Cardi B.
off stage, but he's like
He
kind
threw
of
that jump. Like,
he's really strong. So like, I'm so glad this lady is okay in order
oh,
to make these videos.
I hope she sues.
Like, that's really harsh. Like, why? And I'm trying to figure out, like, why did he throw it? I don't know if he meant to throw it at her. Probably not. But like, if she was in the
Hey,
vicinity of
Kamisha.
it, he should have been. Hey, Kamisha. He should have been really careful. Like, that's just really hard to see. I'm
Did
not
they
even
say why
worried
he
about
threw
stuff.
it?
No, his lawyer is out there making comments about how, like, people don't know the whole story, and
The whole story about why you launched a
anyone who's calling
fucking
it
microphone,
assault obviously didn't see everything.
but you threw
But
it into a crowd of people.
what
Like,
I'm
didn't
seeing, and I don't know
somebody?
what was happening on the other side, but that is not responsible. That's
No,
not
I
cool.
want to
You
see. I
cannot
mean,
do
if I
that.
was her, listen. I'm about to get paid. Okay, I'm about to get paid. Have a good night at work, Kamisha. Where's her comment? Oh, see, I need my glasses. She's stopping while she get ready for work. Yeah, because Kamisha be working long ass hours.
Oh my gosh.
Be safe out
Them
that
jokes
jump.
working.
Mocha says that was terrible, but I still find 50 attractive.
Oh man. That
Listen,
was just so, I wouldn't even, let me take it down. Let me talk about this. This is kind of,
listen. I need her to sue.
this
I
is
need
not
her to
even
follow
related.
up on that. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening there. The game has made comments, and I don't know what happened. I'm sure there's a backstory to it, but if she's going to press charges, then they're going to have to do an investigation. And I don't think their camp is going to let out a whole bunch of information.
Well, investigation on what? I feel like it's open and shut. Nigga, you threw a microphone, something hard into the crowd, and you hit somebody. Pay me.
For sure. And I don't know whether he didn't, I don't know what happened, but
I don't care.
I don't
Listen,
foresee him getting
if
out of
somebody
this.
was shooting a gun and they accidentally shot somebody that they weren't trying to shoot, they would be held responsible. Okay.
Yeah, especially since
I
mean, unless he was trying to defend someone, I don't know. I doubt that though.
That Bama's aim is not that good to be like, oh, somebody's attacking somebody
I
in the
mean,
crowd.
clearly he hit her right in the middle. Like, that's really
I gotta look more into
sick.
that. I will be following up on that.
That,
Okay.
that wound she had, that was very concerning. I would be so shook
I
because,
can't wait to looking more into that but I mean, Mocha said he is attractive. I feel like he has certain things where he's attractive.
qualities. But he's
But I won't get into that.
You know what? He's not a bad looking person.
No.
I remember when he had that first song out. It wasn't in the club. Wankster. Oh, I used to love that song, Wankster. And then when he did in the club, that's just always going to be a hit. Shawty, it's your birthday. It's always going to be a hit. But anyway, that's how we're talking about. He can't be hurling microphones at citizens.
Nah, like I said.
Now this one, let me just. I just want to get to the next topic because this one is booty. Like the DMV ranks #1, and then I tried to find a source to support this.
I looked at
Barstool DMV. I couldn't find anything else in this post, and I would have to look really hard.
Well, let's read the thing though, because look what it says. It says the DMV ranks #1 in the country angriest people on social media. Okay, and I mean, I don't see everybody's posts from the DMV on social media, but I we do be coming off a little angry sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, who's
not us, but
who is ranking this kind of stuff like this? I couldn't find any polls. I'll have to go back and look because I only looked for like maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, but maybe not even 10 minutes, maybe just 5. I probably looked for about 5 minutes just trying to find like, where is the poll? Where is the source saying that this is the ranking? Because I was like, who are the other ranks? Like, who's number 2, where's the list? But I couldn't find anything. I found something about, it wasn't related. It was just like Barstool. A lot of people don't like Barstool, so that's what I found.
Barstool is. But
sports, they signed Gilly and Wallow, Barstool Sports, for like $30 million or something like that. That's what I know about Barstool. And then they have a section called Barstool Sports, but I don't really know anything else.
But if you think about not social media, right? When people come here from other places and they visit, it is a thing that they feel like people aren't the friendliest. You know what I mean? So I can see it translating over to DMV, just in the simple fact of on the social media, translating over to social media, because think about it, on social media, people are sharing their opinions, right? And somebody says the wrong thing, a person from the DMV is gonna clap back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not about to, ain't no punks here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I could see it. Oh God, another mosquito just came in here. I need to close.
Oh my gosh, you need to call some backup.
It's like crazy because the whole wide world is outside, but I open my balcony door with this much of a sliver, and they find that hole. Like, what the fuck? But anyway,
no, they're detectives. It's really what's happening. Okay, so we're gonna just glaze over this one quickly because I just found this today. The Portia is got her last name over here. Portia Guobadia, I think that's how to say it, reportedly playing hardball with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Basically, they're offering her a lot of money, but that's very, relative number. Like, who knows what a lot of money is? And she's declining to come back. I just want to get your thoughts first.
What?
So apparently she doesn't want to come back, or not even that she doesn't want to come back, because this is alleging that she's playing hardball, meaning she wants more money they're offering. What do you think about this?
I don't know, because like, if she's playing hardball, she wants more money, she's risking the fact that they can be like, that's okay, fine. You know what I mean?
I don't think that she will really care at this point because her husband has millions.
I was about to say, maybe she just she good. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't think anybody would be mad. You know what I'm saying? Because she could probably go do whatever she wants right now.
Yeah.
So how much money are they offering her though?
I don't know. It just says a lot of money. That's what I was trying to figure out. Oh,
I can't see people's names on Facebook. Shout out to Kingdom Chef. if you guys are in the DMV area, this is the chef you want to see. I'm about to pull this up real quick because I want to figure out. I don't want to mess up the name of the restaurant. So he just opened a restaurant, y'all, but he's also a chef. And he does very great work. Okay. He has a new restaurant that opened up. It is in DC and it has a really cool name. So I don't want to mess it up. Let me just go and look real quick.
Look,
Um,
let me speculate while you're doing this. So they're saying that Real Housewives of Atlanta had a less than favorable season. I think so. I could not stay with it. It was just like so blah to me this
yeah, I
season.
fell off.
I didn't really care for it. Like it wasn't like I would, rule them out or like call anybody any names or anything like that. But it was just like I lost interest. I didn't even like follow through to the rest of the season. It was just like weird. Now,
I didn't either.
Ultimatum, I'm watching that. I'm probably into the second or third episode.
Well, you need to catch up because the reunion. I mean, is the reunion already played? Or they already ended it? So I know what happened at the end. I'm gonna need you to catch up so we can talk about it. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna hurry up and watch
let me
it.
do this really quick because I want to give him his flowers. The name of the restaurant is called Brioche and Coco, and it is on First Street, Northwest DC. And he's gonna have to type in the chat to let me know if he wants me to give the actual address because I don't know. I guess I should get the actual address. This is a public post. So it's called Brioche and Coco. It's on 1828 First Street, Northwest DC. So if you guys are in the DMV area, definitely check this brother out. You will not be disappointed. And when you get over there, tell him that Davita sent you. You know what I'm saying?
I know, that's right. Oh my God. That sounded like a good Southern direction. You're so sweet.
Jim Murray says, Portia, the one who didn't know how many days there are in a year. That one.
Oh my gosh. For the Underground Railroad comment.
The Underground Railroad one was very disappointing. It was funny though. It was comical. No problem. I like to share my brothers and sisters, especially if I know them, and so it's all love. But definitely check out his restaurant, y'all.
Yes, please do. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Brioche and Coco.
I love the name. The name is
like I'm already hungry. Like
look, if you look on his Facebook page, he definitely be coming with the food porn. Okay. He makes a lot of stuff. So I actually missed Tyron's event. Tyron had him cater when he had the cousins get together.
Oh, really? That's dope.
The food looked bomb. Yeah, I heard it was like that. So I'll have to make sure I make the next.
I'm definitely going to make that a part of my weekend. For sure, because it's a long weekend I'm looking forward to. Okay, now check this out.
It's a long weekend.
Yes, don't you love it when they sneak up on you?
I do.
Oh, an extra one. Thank you. Listen, Portia. Okay, listen. Number one, number two. Portia looks good. I don't know when this picture is from, but I like that picture of her. Of course she's not taking the money, guys. Number one, I don't think the way that they met and got together is really something that they probably want to share with a whole bunch of people because it's a little bit you kind of want to see how that's going before you put that out there. Plus, I also feel like these reality shows can do a number on relationships, so it's like you probably want to make sure your relationship is strong. She just got married, I want to say within the last year. It might have been a little over that because time just be passing so fast. But I think she doesn't really want people to see their relationship yet because it's new. And then also he's pretty well off. The last time I looked, I think I saw that he might be worth over $40 million or something like that. So she's, listen, everyone, she did what she came.
She don't need the money then.
She doesn't need the money. She's probably focused on her full-time job, which is, working on her relationship. She's literally
that whole thing was crazy.
It was. I cannot deny that. But yeah, so that doesn't make it's not shocking to me. Okay, so I do have to switch over to some news that is not.
Oh, hold on. We got a question.
Oh, sorry.
Bill Murray says, why wasn't there a reunion at the end of the last season of Love is Marriage Huntsville? I don't know, but there wasn't a reunion for at the end of Love and Marriage DC either. They just
Mm.
filmed that, so I don't know whether it had something to do with the writer's strike or what, if that affected it. But I don't know. I don't know, and I wonder if they. I don't know because it's back on now, isn't it? I don't know. That's a good
That's
question.
really odd. And just thinking about the franchise Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's interesting that like I don't know why Sheree and Dude are pretending to be in this relationship because like they look crazy together. Like they both are decent looking people. Sheree is very beautiful, and but Dude is like he has so much drama and mess going on, and how that whole relationship panned out. And I just feel like I don't believe that they're actually in a relationship.
I don't believe it either. It just doesn't look believable to me. I don't know. I don't believe it. I'm with you on that. Mocha says Love and Marriage Huntsville is not done for the season. It comes back on 9/16. Okay. Okay. Does anybody know when they're going to they filmed the reunion, I believe, for Love and Marriage DC. I wonder when that's gonna air. I don't know. Anyway, go on to your next topic. Don't mind me.
Yeah, so the next topic, well, this one is actually the better of the part of this segment. Unfortunately, there was someone who did shoot people at the Dollar General. I hate covering these types of stories, but it happens, you know what I'm saying? And I just like to keep just a prayer out for people. I don't like to talk too much about the person who did it, but like I do like to remember lives of the people who lost their lives. But another senseless shooting where somebody came into the Dollar General and started shooting people, and it was racially motivated. And then he shot three black people, but or whatever. Listen, I
That's
don't even going
crazy.
to talk about the gunman, but Angela Michelle Carr was one, and I'll kind of show this in a second. But like Joseph AJ Laguerre, I want to say, and then the other person is Gerald Deshaun Gallion. We're gonna get into that in 1 second, and I'll show their pictures. But in this particular segment, in this particular part, this man actually tried to like shoot up a church, but the church was packed, so he couldn't get in apparently. And then the the church officials outside saying that nobody told them what was happening inside. But I suppose this man shows up. Obviously, he couldn't get in the door because the church was packed, and they arrested him. But this happened in Pittsburgh. It's just like one of those things. It's like, dude, I don't understand. They got this dude mugshot up here. He looks crazy.
It's
I don't know
crazy
what's
to
happening.
me that people do stuff like that in places where people just like minding their business and it's supposed to be safe, especially like the church and Dollar General. Like you in that Joe trying to get whatever you in there getting, and somebody comes in there. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm so glad that these people didn't have to go through with the other people have been going through with these shootings. But he, that he needs to be thrown under the jail because he came in there with a weapon, and people are wild. I mean, he could have hurt somebody, but God is good. Unfortunately, the people in the case of the Dollar General shooting, and let me share this and share their pictures because I like to talk about not who the shooter was, but who the victims were. In that last story, though, there weren't any victims because that dude was
Okay.
the victim. So, but in this case, Angela Michelle Carr, she was a grandmother and a mother of three. And then AJ Laguerre, 19.
That's crazy.
He's a bright young man. Oh,
In the
and
damn dollar store, minding their business.
Gerald Deshaun Gallion. Very nice. That's his daughter Asia.
How old is he?
He
He looks
was
young too.
yeah, he does. Um 29.
That's crazy. Like minding your business, shopping for shit in the
Yeah.
dollar store. You wouldn't even think nothing like that would happen. I mean, imagine going to the grocery store and somebody starts doing something. That I be trying not to be paranoid, but I be looking at everybody like, "What you doing? Oh, it's fucking 80 degrees out here. You got on a trench coat. Let me go to another store."
I mean, if only it were that obvious because
That's
all
a fact.
all of these things happen, and it's like
You never know.
you never know what happened, and it's like, dang, I sometimes put myself in those thoughts in my thoughts like, dang, like it could have been anybody, you know what I'm saying? But
Just like
anyway,
the shooting that happened at the Hobby Lobby, and then there was another thing that happened.
yeah,
Some lady, I guess she got caught shoplifting or something. She had a shootout with the security guard. That shit
too.
crazy. What the hell?
That's wild. I can't. Anyway, prayers going up.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is wild.
So anyway, this is a little bit better of news. I wish I had a better segue. Sorry, guys. Back to the other side. That I didn't realize this. The Chinese government gave Akon, or he said the Chinese. I'm sorry. So I don't know if it's a business or it's the government gave Akon $1 billion to develop Africa. He says China is a blessing. That's pretty dope because um I know Akon was doing a lot of work out there to bring Wi-Fi like up to speed and to provide internet over in Africa, but like $1 billion is a lot of money. I mean, but like I think he's the guy to do something with it. I think he understands a lot about the infrastructure and about the way things work. And I mean, hey,
Like that's interesting to me that China gave him the money though. It's like I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna turn
you
out.
don't
But
know how that feels.
while we're talking about money, did you see? I don't know if this is on the list either. Do you have anything about InvestFest on there?
I started to put that on there. I can quickly pull something up.
Well,
Do you have something in mind? I
well,
sent you something actually.
was it the Diddy presentation?
No, I saw Ja Rule out there. And I was like, oh, nobody asked to see him.
Well,
No one.
Diddy
No one
gave them.
requested him.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Diddy gave them $1 million.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah, I want to go to that jump the next time. I'm gonna try to go to that. There was so many people there, and I saw one of the guys from Earn Your Leisure. I think it was Rashad, talking to Tony the closer, and so I had to watch that just to see what the climate of that phone call on
Oh, was that
Instagram.
a recent? Was that a
Yeah,
recent?
yeah, they were recapping the InvestFest, and he was giving them props on how they put on the event, and everything was good, and how they.
Oh, Tony the Closer did?
Yep. Yep. So like when I
Oh.
saw it pop up, I said, "Oh, let me see what he's talking about," and I was like, "Okay, okay." He gave them their props and everything. And I heard from a lot of people that it was really good, though. I seen a lot of people there, and of course, Social Proof was there. And they also did a video recapping like what happened or whatever, what their thoughts are. So I still gotta watch that because I didn't watch that yet, whatever. But
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
while we're talking about Social Proof, remember the morning meetup, right?
Yes.
David Shan still does the morning meetup where, I guess it's like over 500 entrepreneurs now. But Bryn left today. Today was her last day. I'm not in the morning meetup anymore, but I caught Bryn's Instagram live and she was talking about it or whatever. So she's going to take the whole month of September off and she's got some other things coming or whatever. And I was like, man, who is going to fill Bryn's shoes? Because she
was so good. She was like positive and funny, and she used to do the dance parties. Those were cute.
Yeah, she is on the West Coast, so she used to have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do that. So shout out to her. If y'all are into like mindset stuff, Bryn Drescher is good, and you can find her on IG. BRYNN Drescher, DRESCHER, I believe. But yeah, I was like, damn, she left the morning meetup. I'm pretty sure she had some other things going on, but they apparently had like a little celebration today or whatever. She was talking about her on Instagram Live. But anyway, but yeah. So what are you over there trying to do? Pull up the investment?
I was trying to pull up the Diddy joint, but I think I got it. If this is what I think it is.
Yeah, he gave $1 million. I was like, okay. So I like to see stuff like that because I feel like people who are already like rich, they should be invested into the community. You know what I mean? And I know they're gonna do something really good in it. Okay, so he invested $2 million in the HBCU football team and the financial literacy fund. Okay,
that's what's
picture
up.
right there is bomb.
Yeah, that's
Shout
nice.
out to them. Shout out to them.
That's dope.
Y'all don't know who Earn Your Leisure is? Definitely check everybody them out on YouTube, on Instagram. Everybody should know who they are, but they may not. just in case. You know what I mean?
All right, we're already 50 minutes in, and we still have to talk about Ready to Love. So I'm gonna just slide through the next two. So Chris, so long story short, Krishan Rock is having a baby boy. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
her. I feel like she's been pregnant for a long time. I don't know why. Maybe
I
it's
feel
just
like it's been a long time too.
yeah. I'm just like, dude, like what's happening? Like, but I wish her the best. I saw this bomb video of her with like Mike Freeman. He actually Mike Freeman is a pastor that built the Faith Plaza out here, and he has a couple of
Oh
other
yeah, okay.
locations, but he brought her on stage and she was like singing, or no, she wasn't singing, but she was just like doing a little dance and like stuff. And he was just basically like, she's very special, and maybe she's not out there doing what you would do, but y'all need to have some grace. And
Listen,
he
and
was
he's the
just giving
perfect
her
person
love.
to
She
talk
was at
about it.
church.
He's the person. He's the first person. I mean, the perfect person to talk about it because
He
he
went through a
talks
lot.
about his background too or whatever. And I remember his church because it was like one of the main churches. Like they always say, you come as you are at church, but he was really about that life, about come as you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to him too. I
Yeah.
didn't see that video though. You got to send me that.
Oh yeah, I think I might have
You
it.
might
Hold
have.
on.
I just didn't. Maybe I didn't check my Instagram.
No, I don't think it's that. I may have not put it on here, but it's probably, oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, I can go to her page and show it. But she's yeah, here it is. Oh, she was just doing her thing. Let me see if I
The
can.
Holy Ghost party, because the Holy Ghost party don't stop. Because greatness is in this one right here. And you shall see. You mark my word. It's a setup for the kingdom of God. And they may take the wrong route like I took the wrong route. Don't laugh, Krishan. Sean. What?
That's how you gave it to me.
Wait a minute.
That money?
Hello?
Oh, that's the phone.
Hello?
Oh, that's funny. That was funny. I thought that was hilarious.
I was like, is that money? But that was a phone. Okay.
I think it was money. I
Oh,
think it
okay.
was money. But she, something about her does make me want her to get help or something. I don't know. She seems a little more sane these days, but she seems like a sweet girl somehow through all of this crazy stuff that she be doing. I'm
I
just
mean,
like,
she's still
I
young.
want her to
You
do
know what I
well.
mean? She's still
Yeah.
young. Think about how we were back at that age or whatever. You don't really even know a lot of the stuff that you're about to learn. So,
Yeah.
she just, I do hope that she, makes better decisions and stuff like that. And you know, yeah. I was
Yeah.
scared for her to be pregnant and have this baby because of all the stuff that she was into and stuff. And so I hope that, children change you sometimes. And I hope that, the motherhood kicks in her and she just realizes, okay, I can't do some things anymore or whatever.
Yeah, I hope so
Or
too.
even just put myself in the situations that she was in.
I hope that that's just a part of being a mother, and it's just going to automatically kick in when when she has the baby. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to take this the next 6 minutes, like whatever I can get in for the next 6 minutes, and then we'll start Ready to Love. I don't know why I did it like that, but listen, here we are. Okay, so Funky Dineva, I had to talk about this because listen, I saw the original comments and I thought they went a little too far. And then when he came back and apologized, I thought it was a genuine apology. So I was just
You
like, okay,
did?
I did, because he wasn't apologizing for everything, but he was like, I see how I took it too far, and for that I apologize. I think he okay, I'm gonna listen to you what you say, but I think he heard back what he said and was like, yeah, I gave it a little too much but it
Would
does.
he have come out and done that had the network not made him do it though?
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, did you see? There's a petition about him. Jane has it. I'm trying to find
They
it.
want him to be off. I saw that. They
Okay.
want to get him off of that show because it does that. Those comments were, I thought they were pretty harsh. I felt like, do you hate women or what? Like, what's happening here? Like, are you not okay? And she actually put out a tweet or something.
He always says a lot of stuff. Like he got into it with another YouTuber before, and he said a lot of bad things about her too. So I don't know. Hey Blondie.
And hey Blondie. He was just too harsh, but it wasn't just that. It was just like there was a twinge of something malicious or something. Like he was just too passionate about his disdain for her, demeanor or whatever. Like, yeah, like he thinks she's extra or whatever. There's one way to say that. It's one thing if somebody's not your cup of tea, but he seemed a little too disturbed for me. That I was just like, why are you? You know what I mean? Like, so it's something to watch. But I feel like he apologized. I'm not into the, I don't know, canceling of people. I don't know. He's done this before. I didn't know that about him, but he seems extra to me sometimes. So it was just he went hard on the girl, and people fail to realize that Chloe's like 25, 26. Like she's young and like, she's finding herself, but I just feel like people be too harsh. Plus, I love Chloe. I just love her. And I get it. She's a little extra, but whatever. I don't know that you got your whole entire thought out though, as far as like, what do you think about Funky Dineva?
I mean, I think that he walks the line. Well, I don't even think he walks the line. I think he says a lot. He's been involved in a lot on the internet. He's always saying something kind of crazy, but it was crazy that he said that on Fox's thing, on that TGIF show, mm-hmm. like whatever it is, TG, whatever. But there is a petition. I think Jane shared it. I think Layla Lynn shared it too, or shared Jane's video, or maybe she found out about it through Jane talking about it. But it's on Jane's community wall. I was trying to get it to put it on here, but my internet, or my phone, not my internet, my phone is messing up. Hold on.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably just be watching to see what happens next, because this is my first sort of witnessing of him cross lines.
All right, so let me read the petition real quick, and then you tell me what you think. I'm going to try to skim over it real quick. So it says, we, the concerned individuals who value respect and equality, are deeply disturbed by the recent comments made by Funky Dineva, in parentheses, it has his real name, on Fox Soul. As a platform that reaches a large national audience, it's crucial that we hold influencers accountable for their actions and demand better representation. Black women and girls are consistently disrespected and unprotected in America. From historical injustices to present-day discrimination, Black women face unique challenges that often go unnoticed or ignored. The derogatory remarks made by Funky Dineva only perpetuate this cycle of disrespect and contribute to the marginalization of Black women. It is important to recognize that these comments are not isolated incidents, but rather reflect a pattern. Dineva also called Blue Ivy ugly with his whole chest back when she was only a little girl under 6 years old. As a responsible consumer of media content, as responsible consumers of media content, we must demand better representation from the individuals we support. By allowing people like Funky Dineva to continue spreading disrespectful behavior from prominent platforms like Fox Soul, we inadvertently endorse this harmful culture. Therefore, we call upon Fox Soul to take immediate action by removing Quentin Funky Dineva from their platform. It's time for us as a society to prioritize respect and equality over entertainment value. Please. Not while I'm reading. Please. Hey. We deserve role models who uplift.
He's upset. He loves Black women.
We deserve role models who uplift and empower all individuals, regardless of their race or gender. And then it says, sign this petition. You're making me not be able to read, man.
He trying to read it too.
It says, sign this petition if you believe in creating an inclusive society where every individual feels respected and protected regardless of their background or identity. Together, let's send a strong message that derogatory remarks aimed at any group will not be tolerated on mainstream platforms. It's time for a change. Let's stand united against the perpetuation of disrespect towards Black women. Sign this petition and let Fox Soul know that we demand better representation and accountability from our celebrities. Now, I'm not.
Wow, that
I'm
is
not a
well
faithful,
written.
and y'all can find. Well, I'm gonna try to put it on here, but it is on the Plaintiff Jane's community tab. If you scroll down a couple posts, but I am gonna try to put the link on here for anybody that wants to go look at it and sign it themselves. So I'm not a faithful Funky Geneva watcher, but I do watch a lot of YouTube, and so I've seen him involved in some things. You know what I mean? So I'm not, I don't know, but I do think that it is something. If you're on a huge platform like that, and I mean, pretty much whatever you say, it's the network's responsibility to take, like they're responsible for what he said as well as he's responsible for what he said.
Yeah.
You have to be. You can say anybody can get on here and say anything, but it's like, if you have a responsibility of a lot of people, you should care about that. And you calling these random people ugly when, I mean, you're not that cute. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess I just did it, right? But you shouldn't do that. You just shouldn't do that. He shouldn't do that on there. If he was on his YouTube channel, it still would be a problem, but it's the fact that he was on there with other people, all these people watching, and she wasn't talking to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just kind of like, why'd you even respond to that? Or why'd you even?
I just was bothered that he was so bothered. It just seemed more sinister or something than just being like, oh, not my cup of tea. It was just like, you're pretty, like, that's a dagger pointed at her. Like, why are you so invested if you're not?
So how do you feel about calling Blue Ivy ugly when she was little?
That I didn't know until you just read it, and I am not okay with that. I'm appalled. I'm appalled and outraged. How dare you? Do you know who you're talking to? Like, please.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, that does make me feel a certain way. But also, like, I don't know. The apology, part of the apology that he said mentioned that he understands that a lot of the audience that they are speaking to are Black women, and so you need to watch yourself. But it's like, well, that's who he is. So when you read some of those things off of that, when you read the petition and what it called for, and then I learned some other things that he did, and this is not the first offense, it makes me look at it a little differently, honestly. And just like that, coupled with the idea of like how venomous his words were, it's like it seemed like he had an alternate it's like a ulterior motive or some other intention. He was way too bothered, and it seemed more like hatred. It seemed more like he was,
I mean, yeah, because my thing is, if you're talking about something, yeah, you can feel free to talk about it, but like, talk about the person's behavior or their character or their actions. Like, nobody picks how they look. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, and she's not ugly,
stuff, but you aren't really in a position to do that. So
she's not even ugly, but he's just bothered, and I was just like, why are you so bothered?
No, I mean, but the thing is, ugliness is subjective. Like, somebody out there thinks we're ugly. You know what I'm saying? We don't care. But my point is, like, everybody is not going to be attracted to everybody. What's the point of walking around talking about this person's ugly, that person's ugly? But I think it's even worse when you are on a large platform like that and you don't have a reason to be talking about that. Like, yeah, talk about the behavior, talk about the character, talk about actions, things that they're in control of. It's just like when somebody talks about somebody's skin color. It's like, okay, it's not like they pushed the button and said, oh, I'm this color. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have anything to do with that. So what did they do? What did they do that bothered you so much that you had to speak on it? Like, when you start going to looks, you've lost. You've lost, because what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you start name calling and going to looks, it's like you don't have nothing else to say. That's just how I look at it. I mean, I can talk about you like shit without bringing your looks in. So.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, what did he have against? Yeah, like, you're not even.
But then I even will go this far and say this: in the climate that we're in, everybody knows what kind of backlash you're gonna get when you do certain things. Like he probably got a feeling before he said it that he would get the backlash that he's gonna get. So,
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he knew he would get the backlash.
Listen,
I
when
think
you
he was
are
just being
when you
hateful.
are a person that is in the media, even a content creator, you already know before something comes off of your lips that it might not be received well, even if it's just that person's fan base.
I think maybe soon after it's
So
fair because I don't
you're
even know.
telling me that okay, so if you about to talk bad about Beyonce, you're not gonna get a little thing like I know Beehive's gonna come after me. So
yeah,
if before you're gonna you I don't care. I don't care if it's something like a mistake, yeah. But if you're pointedly about to drag somebody, somebody's gonna have a problem with it, and especially if it's a black woman. Like this is what we're talking about, and on top of that, we're also talking about how men are treating us sometimes, and it's not everybody, but like I said, I don't think that he didn't get the feeling before he said it because he's a seasoned content creator. Okay, so that's just my thought about it. It's not like he just joined the cast yesterday and never been on TV.
Yeah, he should know better for sure.
That's what I feel.
But especially seeing as how we've seen several people go through these kinds of things, but I still believe that he didn't realize how hateful it sounded, and it just I don't know if he knew that it was going to come back to him like this because now he's about to be taken off television or suspended or something, or maybe not. Maybe no one cares. Like the petition says, you know what I'm saying?
Well, so the goal right now is 2,500 people to sign it, and it has 2,300 signatures, and it was created on the 24th of August.
Oh yeah, that thing go get the 25. That's 200 more signatures. And
they're gonna send it to the CEO of Fox Soul. So I need to put this somewhere just in case.
Yeah, I wonder how many people are.
431 people signed today.
I don't even think I watched that. I've seen clips of it, like
I've watched clips. I'm not a fan of. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan because I haven't watched it to know. But if something was said by Claudia, somebody played a clip, I watched it because I forgot what she said one time or whatever. But that's the thing. It's not like anybody on there hadn't said anything before and been brought to the carpet. So that's my point. I just don't believe that he didn't get that little ting. Like maybe I should redirect this, or maybe I should reword this, or maybe I shouldn't say this part because of the reasons that he's been, brought to the carpet before, and his co-host has been brought to the carpet before for things that have been said. So when you talk for a living, the longer, you talk long enough, you're going to say something that somebody doesn't agree with or whatever, and that you may have to apologize for. But I just believe that he's too seasoned not to know that wasn't the way to go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Or he gonna learn today because those 200 signatures are coming. If they don't get here in the next day, I'll be shocked. Yeah, look.
See, thank you for taking on my birthday as always.
I mean, they still got a kid.
I mean, it's not always my birthday, but you always do take me out.
They're back together. Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is.
They still got a kid together, so I mean, we can't,
But I don't think he did something so rude.
This is the thing. We see a little piece of these people's relationship as something that got out to happen, right? It was his fucking fault because he went to the internet. Do not go to the internet with your shit. He went to the internet and then opened it up for all of our scrutiny. But the reality is we don't have nothing to do with them. Like they're, people break up all the time and get back together. And it's just like, that's why I feel like he should not have said that on that tweet. He started that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do this? You know what I mean? Because we about to get back together or whatever.
I don't know if he knew that at the time, and I was completely okay with them not being. Can you see me? Am I frozen?
Yeah, you are frozen, but I can hear you good.
Okay, so I'll keep going. I think it's because of this thing that I have playing over here. Anyway, I'm trying to close it out. Anyway, I felt like they like, you know, just went through something publicly that wouldn't have been ideal to go through publicly, but like he didn't do something so egregious like cheat on her to the point where they couldn't get back together. And he learned a lesson. Not he, you know, it's possible that he put that out there and didn't think anybody was gonna really see it or whatever.
Listen, you are so nice and so like you know, giving the benefit of the doubt to people, and I appreciate that. But I would like to point out, like, no, you know that we're public figures. You know how popular she is. Like, if you put anything, you watch it go, you watch it happen to everybody. The least little bit of stuff get out. When people see that stuff, they feel like they have an inside to comment on your shit and to give you advice and to make judgment on you or whatever. When in reality, you don't know about life. You don't know what I'm doing. You only see a little piece of it, and you don't know what we got going on. Like, if I want to get back with him, then that's her. I mean, I want to get back. If she wants to get back with him, that's her prerogative. You know what I mean? But it's like we kind of hold people to these perfect standards in the sense of this. He did something wrong. You get rid of him and go on with your life. Like, do you do your life like that, Miss Lady with 4 baby fathers or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, it's like anything could happen. Any conversation could happen where they get back together, and we just don't know. So I just find it ridiculous to even like expect somebody to do what the public wants them to do. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
go
true.
through this situation. You get to go through your shit without any scrutiny. I would be mad at him for doing that because like we don't know what else happens in their relationship. You know what I mean? We just know one thing. Now, if he did something like really bad to her, then yeah, I would kind of be like, well, I hope she figures it out. But at the end of the day, I still would be like, well, she has to make the decision because she's gonna have to co-parent him. She's gonna have to see him still. So if she okay with it, look, what they say, she like it, I love it. Like, I just feel like people just go way too far on the internet thinking that, you know, like you're commenting on these people's things like your life is perfect. Like, let's see what you're dealing with. Let's see what decisions that you made that I think you should have did differently. Like that, you know, like share your opinion, yeah, but like I don't have no problem with them getting back together or whatever. Like, that was one thing out of a whole bunch of things that he probably did. You know what I mean? Like good things that he might have did. Who knows? But they still have a child together, so it's not like they're gonna never.
Yeah, it's not like they're not gonna be together. I mean, it's not like, you know, I don't want them to not be together.
Or may not even be back together, but they have to co-parent. I'd rather be cool while we co-parenting than not to say that we should get back together, but like maybe we just want to have a cool ass relationship as co-parents because of that. You know, who knows? That's their business. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll make initial commentary on it if I feel like he was hating. He was in his feelings. Yeah. But as far as what she should do, I mean, you're gonna say the public, okay, who knows what kind of stuff they do together, what kind of, you know, everybody has speculation, but who knows what kind of you know, fun times they have, what kind of trips
they have a whole baby together.
He gives, what kind of, you know, or whatever. You know, it is what it is, but they have a child together, so they're gonna be seen together. So who knows? But it's just crazy how the public just goes crazy, like, you know, judging people off of like 20 seconds or 20 minutes of footage that you've seen about somebody or whatever. It's just like, bro, you don't even know the half. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know. You don't know. So that's just my rant. Anyway.
No, that's true. I'm so with it. Like, you don't.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna look into it and be like, when it came out, I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, he was hating or whatever. But that's as far as it goes. I don't be sitting here thinking, oh my god,
yeah, yeah. I'm never that passionate about it. But it's funny because people was laughing when this happened. I think this happened like maybe within the last week. But people were saying like, y'all women went all the way out on attention and all this. And it's just like, no. We were still right, guys. Like, he shouldn't be making her. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not. I mean, I'm here for their happiness. I'm appreciative that they are, you know, living their best lives. Like, I don't think that's, you know, it's not bad. It's not like he's abusive or something. Like, we see a lot of people out here, like, you know, Krishan and Blueface, and it's like, you guys,
that situation, it's a safety thing. You know what I'm saying? That's different because you might not be here tomorrow based on whatever is happening with Blueface is doing. But for something like this, like, yeah, like I said, he's wrong for putting that shit out there. He knew what I refused to believe. He didn't know that anything was gonna happen because you're Keke Palmer's, son's father. Like, what are you doing? People are looking. Like, stop it. You're opening up. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of that backlash because of who I am and what you did. Like, why would you bring that to me? Now, if somebody happened to walk past and see hear him say that, that's different because they didn't put it out there. Neither one of them put it out, but he was wrong for doing that.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, it's not life threatening.
Yeah.
So it's like, let her do what she got to do. Like, I mean, let her do what she got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, I'm with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems like a nice guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not gonna go that far. I don't know. I think he's a dumbass for posting the tweet, or whatever. But I like Keke Palmer, so I love it. But we're still gonna talk about it if he does it again. But they're not gonna not ever see each other again. That's the father of her child. You know what I'm saying?
That is so funny. I'm laughing still. I'm not gonna go that far. I love that. Okay, listen. All right, listen. Now we're gonna get into what we came here to get into, everybody. Ready to love and what has been happening this week. At this point, the show is not as good as the interviews and the lives and stuff like that. I'm just gonna go out there. I'm just gonna go out there, jump out there and say it. Whoever has put this sequence of events together, and maybe this is the best they could do from the footage, but this has not been the best season, and I just have to just call a spade a spade. Like, at first, I mean, I think a lot of people have been tiptoeing around the idea that, like, oh, the what's happening on social media or what's happening in the interviews is more interesting. But it's just like, whoever lined up this footage together, I mean, I'm learning more from the interviews than I did from people. Like, there's a whole bunch of dates we didn't see. And like, look, I wonder if I would be entertained by just the show. At this point, I have to wonder if I would only watch the show.
Before you found out about like people reviewing it and stuff like that. Like
I wonder if I would have lost interest already by now, because I have so much information based off of the interviews. That it's like, it's keeping me engaged. Like, oh, okay, now I understand this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some really good interviews happened this week. So first of all, this wasn't even an interview, but Lee, Kat, and Aries went live. I'm gonna show this because even though it's probably a little plain, you can see, like, they went live on YouTube. I think it was on YouTube. It might have been on Instagram. I don't know.
I think they were on Instagram.
But this is where, this is on Talk with Selena, and she posted it. That's actually where I watched it. I didn't watch it on Instagram. But they went live. They cleared up a couple things. On this live, Lee was very, like, lively and like, lots to say, lots of personality. And I didn't get any of that from the show. So I don't know if she just didn't show it on camera or what, but
I feel like she probably did show it. And they listen, the production, I don't know. Okay, so like she said in this video, production, there's two sets of production. There's the production that's the crew that's filming them, and then there's production that is doing the editing of the footage, right? And but I feel like they probably did. She probably was herself. She probably did give them some of that, but it was in the footage that they didn't fucking use. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of stuff that we're not seeing. We're not seeing all of the dates, and we're also not seeing, all of the conversations and stuff like that. And so it's like, all of the hours that they film, I find it hard to believe that they didn't have anything but what they,
right.
So it's like, I do feel like that's why I always say the interviews are a good addition to the show, because you get to learn a lot about the person that they don't show us, and they're not able to bring their selves out that they want to present. Somebody else is taking the footage and they're making it into whatever they want to be. You know what I mean?
Storyline that they think
is. They look good. Okay. Lee got a banging
body.
Aries is cute as I don't know what, and Kat is cute too. So I like that Instagram thing that they did.
Yeah,
And they
and
did
Lee.
explain a lot of stuff too in that one.
Yes, they did. Lee put some light, shed some light to some things. She also made a comment that at first I didn't agree with, but then once I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that makes complete sense. She was saying like, if some guy asks her, I'm gonna mess this up. It's like, it's not a quote, but she basically, I'm paraphrasing what she said. If a man asks her what she's into or like how to get her, right, she's not going to tell him, because then he's just going to do those things, and then we don't know if those are his characteristics or if that's him just in pursuit mode. So she's like, a person really has to get to know her. Now I will say, especially if we're going to talk about Crystal XO's interviews too, because she interviewed Phil, Marvin, and Christopher. She was busy. She interviewed two of them in one day.
I didn't see Christopher's yet, but I saw Phil's. Phil's interview was pretty good. I didn't watch all of Marvin's either. But
I did.
Also, okay, so Kat was also on Sabrina Soul's channel, and when they did like she does like the panel for Monday nights or whatever, and Kat was on there. She was really, participating and offering a lot of insight from her perspective on the show, whatever. So I like when they go outside of the show, because like I said, we don't see some of those things. But I do want to say this though, like, a lot of people probably, well, I don't know, it's only a handful of, well, I'm not gonna say a handful of people. There's people that just watch the show on TV. Then there's people like us who watch the show and the extra interviews and stuff, And so some people don't know how the show is filmed. So they have to keep explaining, that this is how long we were filming and this is how editing goes and stuff like that, right? And so she was doing a lot of that or whatever. But I really want to watch Christopher's interview, because I didn't really get a lot from him on the show, but that is not their fault, because it's the people who are editing the show. It's like, these are the people that we should be upset with, because it's like, you're not giving us all of the information, and it's misleading, because you have people thinking certain things about people based off of the footage that you are putting out, and then they have to be in these YouTube streets fighting for their life. You know what I'm saying?
Also, I'll just piggyback on that. I feel like unfortunately, it's like, okay, listen, I don't want to be harsh, because I did notice that everybody's being very polite to production. I'm sure these are wonderful people, but if I'm going to call a spade, they had a story to tell, and the story they told is not as interesting as some of the things that we now know actually happened. So who dropped the ball? Right? And I'm looking at it like that.
It's two different sets of productions. It's one that they don't know, right? The one that they don't know is the editing, people who get all of the footage and put it together. The production that they know is the people who are behind the cameras just capturing the footage. So imagine you and I are out, we're the street team, we're getting all the footage or whatever, then we go and we drop it off to Malika and Jane. And then they got their job to do, and we don't have nothing to do with that, because we just turned in the footage. They're the ones with the storyline, and how they put it together is how they put it together. The people who are getting the footage aren't the people who are doing the other part. So that was something that she said too that I thought was interesting, because I don't know if I thought it was the same. I thought it was the same, people. The only problem I have with the production that film stuff is like over past seasons, when certain things happen, somebody was there to catch it and they didn't step in that we saw. They just recorded it, like things like that or whatever. But yeah. So I mean, but I do say, like I said, I love the post interviews. I can't wait until they do, like right now she's doing interviews to just do like little check-ins, and they can only talk about certain things. They can't talk about nothing that hasn't happened yet. So the interviews that I really suggest people watch these interviews too, but watch the post-season interviews. Okay, the post-season interviews, when they can talk freely and answer questions or whatever, those are the ones. Okay, and I didn't finish watching them either.
I just realized that I hadn't liked the video yet, because I did love the interview. I love her interviews, but like sometimes I watch stuff on TV, and I'm just trying to give a disclaimer here, because sometimes I watch stuff on TV and I'm not like right there to like the video. I'm just listening to it on TV and doing something else. So I just
you can like your TV too. You can like from your TV.
I know, but sometimes I'm like, it's playing after the next one or whatever. Sometimes I don't remember. But yes, I should have already liked it, but I just noticed that while I was sitting here. and I just liked the video because it's like, oh no, I didn't.
That's hilarious.
It looks unliked, but yeah, this was a great video. I mean, this is a great interview.
All right, I gotta go. I've watched the beginning and then I got sidetracked by something else because I prioritize my stuff sometimes in my mind unknowingly, right? I'll be watching something like, yeah, I'm about to get into this, and then somebody will like send me something else, or something else happens, and I'm like, oh, let me go see what's going on over here.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay, I'll get into that.
No, I'll be doing that too. There's this video.
I'll be like, oh, sorry, I'll be back.
There's this video on Instagram that shows this it actually is a bunch of them. Will show a person like with the spatula, and they'll be like, oh, let me take this over here, and they'll be like, oh, a piece of mail. Let me open this up. Oh, let me go get my credit card. Oh, my credit card. That is me.
That's kind of me too.
So funny because in the beginning of this video, you were like piddling around the house, and I was going to ask you to define piddling.
That's piddling. That's piddling. I might go in there and be like, because what I've been doing lately is I've been actually washing dishes, right? Like I use the dishwasher, but I realized that I was like, I'd be like, okay, well, I was waiting until the dishwasher was full to run it and whatever. And I was like, you know what? It's 5 plates in here. Let me just go ahead and wash these Jones before I put them in the dishwasher. And then, do that. Because, I mean, I'll rinse my stuff before I put it in there. But I was like, so I've been doing that. And then I'll be like, oh, that's enough of that. Let me go over here and straighten off this little junk table over it or whatever. Then yesterday I went through a whole bunch of stuff that I had been just like moving around the house. Like I had it in my closet. Then I was like, okay, let me put it over here. And then I said, let me see what's in here. That's where I found that little tiny ass iPod. I feel like it's an iPod. I don't think it's a phone, but it's so small. I was like, when did I ever fucking have this? But I found that. I found like some Apple chargers. I found my Nintendo DXSL, FXL. I found a bunch of stuff or whatever. So anyway, so that's what piddling is. And, it could be anything. It could be like, oh, let me go see.
That's what piddling is, folks.
I made a Poshmark account because I had these dresses that I got from New York and Company that I was trying to get down to a certain size to wear. And now I realize I don't even want to dress like that anymore. So I was like, let me put these Jones on Poshmark. But anyway, that's what piddling is. But anyway, back to this. Since we have Marvin on the screen, let's go ahead and bring him up. It's like, no. We have Marvin on the screen. Mod Afro Mama is doing an interview with his girlfriend tonight. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. It's gonna be in about 15 minutes. We'll probably be done.
Oh, I definitely gotta watch that after I saw this.
Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't watch all this, but go ahead. Go ahead.
He's a wild boy, and I mean, I'm glad. Like what he does is actually pretty cool when you think about like if couples are involved and things like that, and like he has like a whole feeling like he has a purpose and everything, and the way he lights up when he talks about like he looks at it like an art form. There's other people, Black artists who are other writers, and not even just writers, like they're in this he called it something that obviously I'm not familiar with the term, but it was like something like the lifestyle or something like that. And it's like he's into, when you watch it or when you're listening to somebody talk about something and they start to use these buzzwords from their like community or whatever, like in the planner community, if I say Bujo, people know what I'm talking about. It's a bullet journal. Or if I say EC, it's like Erin Condren. It's like, it's like whatever community you're in, I'm sure you're in other communities.
Yeah.
Like, people are in the beauty community. Like we just know certain like terms and stuff. But he kept saying lifestyle, and I think that's like, I was like, that was a new term to me. But anyway, it was a fast.
I stopped on the part where he said that he'll teach somebody how to spank their mate. I was like, okay, all right.
He had a lot to say. He had a lot to say about the girlfriend, so I'm definitely gonna run over there and watch that after this. But he said some things about what was happening behind the scenes that led me to believe of all of the interviews that I watched sort of in the last week together gave me a very clear understanding that their choices are not controlling the process. And these are things are happening that somebody is producing a show. It's a real show. Like it's not a documentation of what happened. It's not a documentary. You know what I'm saying? It's like a pointed effort to produce a show with characters. That's what I take away from the 4 sort of like maybe 5 lives that I watched, or interviews and lives. Um, but listen, Marvin is an interesting dude. I would definitely, it's a must watch. Okay. Now Phil is a cool dude too, but he seems more laid back, and I appreciate everybody's personality. Um, but I got to learn more about him, which I thought was really dope because he um he's just a really cool person. Like you saw his, right, Phil's?
I saw Phil's, yeah.
Yeah, I like the way you know what? I like what he said at the end of his interview when he was saying like, well, all throughout he was talking about how he's been through experiences and stuff, and about his child and things like that. But then towards the end, he gave a really good statement about how like when courting is a two-way process, and he was talking about how much love he has to give, and he's like, I think that's something that, it's certain things you listen to. I was listening to some stuff on Dear Future Wifey too. It's certain things that I hear as a wife, and I'm like, wow, am I doing that? And I thought that was really interesting the way that he was articulating some things that I was like, oh wow, I didn't think about it like that. So he was talking about how courting is a two-way process, and like men need to know that they're interested in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I think sometimes I mean like as women we might forget that. I'm just gonna, I don't know, I speak for all women, but I'm just saying like I think sometimes because Lee kept making the point that like she wants to be pursued, and I think I could definitely identify with that, like you need to pursue me type of thing. But Phil brought another perspective to it that I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think about it like that, which was like, it needs to be reciprocated in order to, feel the interest. Like, otherwise, he didn't say this, but what I took away was like, just like we want to feel pursued, they want to feel that a little bit too. And it just hit me from a different angle when I heard him say it the way he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I watched this interview. The interview was pretty good, and I will say the only thing that really stands out to me right now is that he said something about how he put stuff. He did some healing, and he was able to put something into his outfits. And I will give him a shout out for that because whenever I seen him on camera in the little blazers and the sweaters, and I was like, okay, Phil,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah, he did
yeah.
that well. That was good. And also he got a shout out to Phil's hair. It does look nice. And when they got on here, he was joking about how it takes a lot of product. And I gotta go here, $50 haircuts and stuff. And I was like, listen, buddy, we know the game. We gotta get our, hair done, and we gotta get other stuff. Us as women, we have a lot of products. So we understand how that works, but we also appreciate men who take care of themselves. So shout out to Phil and his
Absolutely.
blazers. Those blazers were cute.
Yeah, I like the
They
sweaters
cute.
too.
They were handsome. I thought he was very well. He presented himself very well. He actually said that a couple of times in the interview that I was like, oh yeah, received, because he was saying like this is lets you kind of know how down to earth he is too, because he was talking about how when he came into the mixer, he felt like everybody looked nice, like even the men. He was like, okay, I'm in good company here. If I make it a little bit longer, that's great because I'm in good company. That was just, sort of takeaway. So I was like, that's really cool. But he also just had some really good points. So shout out to Phil. Again, I can't wait to see these after the fact. And the girls in their live mentioned that they thought it would have been beneficial for them to have the reunion after they saw the show so they could react to some things.
See, but nobody sees the whole show before they have the interview. But they did something different this time. They filmed it before it even started airing, which is crazy. But they probably knew that there was going to be problems if they did that like that. That's probably why they did it. That's why.
Well, I think they created a story. They really created a story this season, and I don't know if it happens like this every season or what.
Well,
but
they fill roles for this. They have casting posts like looking for this. And they have that. She said it too. She was like, well, Lee, I think Lee said it. They're looking for certain people, or maybe Kat said it. They're looking for and we already kind of picked that up because we found a couple of casting posts or whatever, but it's like they are looking for people to fit certain roles, and then they have a story, and that's why we don't get everything, because it's not going to support the story that they're trying to portray. And it's fucked up because, like I said, they end up making some of these people look like, they aren't really like like a way that they're really not, or things come off like they weren't supposed to. So I don't know, this, I will agree, this season was not as good as I'd hoped it would be, but it's not over yet. The getaway might, be a turning point. As I always say, anything can happen from week to week, you know. But yeah, I'm not feeling like I was before, but I still am a fan of the show. But I do have another show that I want to talk about before we get off of here.
Okay, so let's go to this last one, and then we're gonna move on to that. This last interview, I felt like Christopher did not get enough time on the show, especially after watching this interview. He seems like a very kind man. He has this Southern accent. He's like, I feel like what you see is what you get as far as like what he's putting out there as far as like his, one thing that was happening with this, just, logistically, something was happening with his phone. She had asked him one time in the beginning to make sure his notifications were off, because sometimes he would be in the middle of his sentence and he would just disappear off screen. So that gets a little distracting at times because he'd be right in the middle of his sentence. But that's nothing to do. I don't know. I just want to give a disclaimer. I'm not trying to say anything.
That's probably because he's not used to being.
He was like, I do have it on no notifications. I was like, oh, okay. So I understand why she probably didn't ask him again, because she probably didn't want to, like, I don't know.
I'm gonna watch that one.
I didn't want her to ask him again either.
I didn't see any of that.
The way he said it, it was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna say anything else about it because I don't want you to feel like I don't think he would have been able to fix it or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's a nice man. He talked about why. Okay, here's what I got from this interview. Now I understand why people might have taken him as too businessy or selly or something like that, because he was saying, what I learned from this is that I should keep it surface level. When somebody asks me what I do, just be like, oh, I'm in security, or I don't know what he said exactly actually, but he said that's not what he was doing. He was going into detail about each project he had. So that could come off a little bit like, oh, okay, this isn't a meeting. Like, it's a date. So, but I didn't witness.
And they try to talk to other people. So it's like, this spam is going on and on.
Yeah, and he also admitted that he could have gone a little harder at Kat. Because I ain't gonna lie, before he said that, I was like, thinking that maybe her standards were too lofty as far as like, well, you already have these connections. But also, shout out to him for just being authentic, because I think I picked up a lot more about how somebody could feel in this process. Because he made a comment about like, and we've heard other men say this, like he was like, well, I don't really date that many people at a time. He was like, I could have went a little bit harder at Lee, but I was thinking to myself, like, this seems wrong. Like, do I text her while I'm talking to this girl? Like, I think he got caught up a little bit in the process, because I can imagine that, like, you're working your jobs, you're doing your thing, and you're dating these people, and you kind of have to keep up with what each of you are talking about, what you can't mix somebody up. He didn't say this, but I was just thinking, like, yeah, that could be challenging. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very intentional. So I think he was probably like, he couldn't pursue everyone. It takes a lot of energy. So I don't think he thought he had anything with Lee, or he didn't think that she was going to be available. So he just reserved his energy for other connections. Sorry, I feel like I said 1,000 words just then, but
so I gotta watch this interview because I did not see any of this one, and so I'm gonna go and watch it, because I'm glad you said that he said he learned something about it.
Yeah.
Right? He learned something about his time in the process. But a lot of those connections, like I think Lee might have said it, or maybe Kat said it. But a lot of those connections are made. A lot of connections are made, or they don't really get to know each other like that until after they film, because now they're, a part of the cast, and they'll be gone to different events and stuff like that. So they've really, in the camera, and she said it, the cameras aren't around, so they can kind of be more themselves, and then they can look back on the process and be like, okay, what did I learn? What can I do different? Because one of the things that I want, one of the things that I'm a mindset and fitness coach, if y'all don't know, in my other side of my life. And one of the things that I like to say is that mindset is about everything. It doesn't have to do just with fitness or when you're trying to do something or when you work. It's all over your life, because the problems that you have in one area probably go over to another area. And you may even be unaware, but the fact that you are like, the fact that he is like learning about it is good, because when you go around and blame everybody else for stuff, you're not helping yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what you see sometimes, that of the people that are in your life, it's a reflection of something that you're putting out. So it's like, yeah, you might be looking at this person like, oh, they got a lot of negative energy, but y'all hang together all the time. Like, what can you do to make the situation better, or not even make the situation better, but when you find yourself in situations, the one thing that I started doing, because I used to be like that back in the day, everything was everybody else's fault. And I'm not wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're wrong. I'm not wrong. I can be honest about that. Now, I kind of do this to a fault now, because sometimes I take responsibility for stuff that I probably don't need to. But in my pattern now, I regularly self-check first. Like, okay, how did I contribute to that? What could I have done different to make that go different? Like, how could I have reacted differently? Like, so I do that to myself. But because I do that, I find that I'm actually able to reflect better and be like, you know what? I took an L on that, and that's okay. And this is what I did. This is what I can do different. And I'm not focusing it on the other person, because they don't have nothing to do with it. They can have the reaction or whatever. It's up to me about what I'm going to do. And I feel like it is interesting how much you learn about yourself when that happens. But I feel like, if I'm going to cut a person off, or I'm going to stop going to this place or whatever, I've done some work in myself, and I realized that energy don't do me good, or this situation doesn't do me good, but I have to work on me. So I like the fact that when any of the cast members say that they learned something from it, because it was a situation that you experienced, and we're just commenting on what we see, but it's more human. It makes you more humanistic when you're able to be like, you know what? I took an L on that, or I could have probably did this different, because you could blame somebody for anything, but it's not going to fix the problem. Like, you're still going to have that person. Like you sent me that video today. Every job you go to, people are going to be dumb. You know what I'm saying? Funny. You have to not be the dumb one and just be like, you know what? I could have handled that differently. Cause Ellen says that's the only interview she saw. And she said, but in his defense, they did ask him. They did ask him about his jobs. Yeah. But
and he has a lot of stuff going on. More power to him, because
I gotta watch the interview. I'm not gonna, but I mean, from what you're saying, it's like, okay, if he just said, "Oh yeah, I'm a barber," like, just for instance, I'm a barber, or he said, "Yeah, I cut the kids' hair in the morning, then I go over to the old folks' home and I do this, and then on the side I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever." Like, he probably was running it down like that, but I can see how he could think like that, because it's like we're trying to get to know each other in this quick, and I'm trying to. He probably had word salad a lot.
I'm just telling you, he's so Southern and just up front. I felt like you could really see who he is with this interview, and it's like what you see is what you get. He even talked about the whole Sierra conversation with the bag. Crystal asked some really good questions, but I feel like you really got to see who he was in this interview, and that was refreshing, because I think that a lot, about a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on social media about people getting interviewed, it's like I'm able to see more of them. That's why I'm sorry, everybody. I love production too, and I know there's two sides, but it's like you have the job of telling the story, and the story that you told isn't as engaging. And granted, I'm watching several interviews, but it's not as engaging as some of the things that people are saying actually happen. It's like, I would have liked to see these dates. And, sometimes you get it wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but some of the things, like some of the pertinent things that I would have liked to see that are causing me, perplexity. Is that a word?
But see, that, I feel like it's a science to it, I guess. I don't know if science is the right word, but it's a method to the madness, right? We have a show to produce, and we want to, reel the viewer in. That's one aspect of it. But and then they only can fit a certain amount in 45 minutes, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so that makes sense. Real. But I mean, then they have these writers. They have somebody who says, like, they're not just saying, oh, let's see what happens on these dates. They're like, okay, we're gonna have this, right? And I don't know. It's very interesting, because I can't say that they don't need writer. Well, I mean, because
here's what I'll say.
somebody would have to like put it together. Like,
let me say this. The assumption could be, because it was from my perspective, that this is a dating documentary. It is the story of following, like, you remember how Real World was? It was just like, this is the story of 7 roommates who like, I don't know how many roommates there were. I think it might have been 7. But like, you would think that like this is the story of 16 people trying to find love, right? But it's not that. It's something else. And,
now,
if it's being perceived as that this is just what happened and we're just showing you a sequence of events in order, or that makes sense and are relevant with each other, it's not that.
Yeah, no, it's not always in order. The things that they say or that we hear them say are not always what was said at the time. They'll take something from somewhere else and put it there. Now, I feel like the only, like, okay, you brought up the Real World. I fucked with the Real World. I love the Real World. But the thing about that is I feel like they needed to, like, the way that, only way they could do that is if they were all in the same location, because all they would have to do is have the camera running, and then you could have the camera in the confessional room that everybody has to go in and talk to. That would be a better idea. But maybe they would have to cut the show down from being 8 weeks. But then the other thing, however 2.5 weeks, 2.5 months, however long they film. But the other thing is they may not need that much time if everybody is together. Like if you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it takes you 2.5 months to film this and put all this stuff together because everybody's working their jobs and coming to meet each other, and you have to have time for all these dates or whatever. But if you had a situation where they were all in the same place, and then when it's time for somebody to go on a date, then they go take a car, take them to the date or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure they would still edit the hell out of that too, but it would be more real reactions because they will all be in one place. You know what I mean? And then, it would be, I don't know, but that's
and then you would have the opportunity to focus. And I think you told me there was a season like that, like the resort season.
The resort season, yeah. And what I'm about to talk about next is gonna give you that too.
All right, let's talk about that. I'm gonna take this down off the screen.
So, Ready to Love is going to have competition. I started watching The Love Experiment. Shout out to Mocha Mima, because when I was in her live a couple of weeks ago, she talked about it before it was about to come on. And I started watching it. It's on episode 3 now. And so the gist of it is 3 best friends, and they are looking for love. And they're in a real live dating app. Meaning, okay, you go into the mansion. I feel like it's a mansion with different quarters, right? And then this one part is called the hall. In the hall, it's like a big ass room, and it has all these different areas on this side and different areas on that side. And it's men. Right. And there's men in each of these rooms. And so they they get to pick 3 men in the beginning. And then they go out on dates. But but the area that the men are standing in, it's like a room, and then behind them is stuff about them. So they get to learn about, like, oh, they might have something, an airplane because he's a pilot back there. They might have, pictures that the guy painted because he's an artist. They're listening to AirPods while the women are looking, so the men can't hear what they're saying. But it's 3 best friends, so they get to talk to each other about their dates. They get to, discuss certain things that happen. They are all in the same place.
They're dating the same people then, right?
Only for 4 weeks. No. It's like they're all in there. They have to pick 3 dudes apiece. And so then they date the people that they pick, and they have to eliminate, right? But I feel like it's good because they get to talk about the stuff with their friends real time. Their friends get to see exactly what happened. They get to see, if what the person looks like, what their personality is like real time without having or what's going on, right? So it's on the 3rd episode now. And the reason why I like this show is because 1, they're all in the same location, right? 2, the friends are already there. They're dating with people that know them and know their expertise. So they get to help them make decisions and stuff like that. 3.
Wow.
Let me just tell you what happened
so
first.
Excited about this.
And I think all of them girls are so cute. So they picked 3 guys a piece first, and then they got to go on a date with each. Well, they got to go on a date. They had to pick one to go on a solo date with, right? One of the 3. And I feel like that's good because it's easier to focus on 3 men than it is a lot of men, right? And nobody else is trying to date the man that you're dating. The women have the power in this show. The men are in competition with themselves, right? So I think that's also awesome. And so the first episode, they picked one person out of the 3 that they picked, and then they had to go on a solo date with them. While they were on the date, they got a text that said, "Hey, Ajoba." While they were on the date, they had a text that said, "You can end this date now and go back into the hall and pick another guy, but you got to end this date with this person." So they had to make a decision of whether they're going to keep the person that they were on a date with or go back in, right? And so the first time I'm not going to tell y'all all what happened, but so that's what that was. And then on the elimination that they did an elimination, right? On the elimination, they brought all 9 guys out, and each girl had a chance to say something to each of the guys and either ask them a question or tell them why they were going home or that they could stay, right? And so that was interesting because anybody could go. You're not safe. You're not safe. You're not just, and then they, like I said, they're only in competition. The men are only in competition with each other. The women have all the power in this. So when they and then it's like, okay, everything, like I said, when they have these little get-togethers, everybody can see everything. And apparently something was said by one of the girls' connections, and another one of the connections heard it. Like another one of the friends heard it. So it's like, okay, you better tell her before I tell her. You know what I'm saying? So like they got each other's back or whatever. So that's why I said they're gonna get ready to love some competition, because 1, they're all in the same location. 2, it's not all over the place as far as like all these people trying to mix and mingle and get to know each other. It's 3 women, 3 best friends at that, and they're only dating their connections. So they really get down into the nitty gritty or whatever. And they can spend the night with each other because at the end of one of the dates, one of the girls asked the dude to come and stay the night with her. But then that lets everybody else in the guy section know that, oh, he come home last night. What is he doing? And then, there was one girl who somebody bet her to give him a kiss, and I was like, dang, she gonna have to kiss this dude in front of her connections. That's fucked up. Oh! So anyway, it's really good to me. And so I did a couple of review videos on it. I did one to explain how everything was, and then I just recapped the episode that came on Tuesday this week or whatever. And I like it so far. I really like it because, like I said, they took elements from these other dating shows and they put it all together. The real life dating app thing is good to me. And it's dudes from all over. It's not dudes from one specific area. It's a dude from Maryland. I don't know if I've seen him yet, but there's people from Los Angeles, Texas. Like, so they've got 24 bachelors all together for these 3 women to, eventually cycle through or whatever. So, and then the men be stressed out because they get a text letting them know that the hall has opened up back for the women. So they be like, oh man, they about to go and get some more people. So,
I can't wait to see this. You have sold me.
So it's on MTV. It comes on Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock. But you should be able to find the past 3 episodes that
I certainly will.
Happened. And I like it. So
I'm already into it. Like, I've watched that thing. I wish I could have put it on loop, but I couldn't figure it out. But I watched that trailer that I just brought up a few times. I'm already interested. I love the idea that it's 3 best friends, because then I love the idea that they're going to be having conversations with each other. You know how it is to be a best friend and what you're saying to your best friend, and to have them all experience this together is also a thing. So I just can't wait to see this show.
I will say the dudes they picked some good dudes. The dudes were nice looking. The dudes range in age. The girls are like 27, 30, and 29 or somewhere in that area. But the dudes range. They're like in their 20s, some are in their 30s, you know what I'm saying? In their late 20s and early 30s. One dude is 38. So I feel like, Ready to Love is going to have some competition on that one to me. So far, it's only episode 3, and it's really good. So to me, that's my opinion. But, if y'all are like me and y'all like, why can't I talk tonight? If y'all are like me and y'all like dating shows or reality shows that where people date, like, this one is a great contender. Okay. All right.
You sold me, dog. I'm just going to say, and you can talk tonight, but it's been 2 hours. We've been on here for 2 hours, guys. I had a great time tonight. We still didn't get to a couple topics, but we'll save those for next week, and more stuff will probably happen. And
yes,
yes.
So I'll say this is going out. I enjoyed this conversation as well. I feel like we were talking really fast, but we did cover a lot of topics. Thank y'all for rocking with us, even though we was a little bit late. Y'all know we be on, we be a little bit late sometimes. You know what I mean? But again, for the people who aren't subscribed, definitely subscribe. If you are new here, welcome, because I think I saw a name that June Murray, welcome, Kingdom Chef stopped through. Shout out to our old faithfuls, Ellen. I don't know if Monique was here. I want to shout her out because I don't really know how to make her comment show up again. I don't know what happened. Shout out to Ajoba, Gwendolyn Beatty, Blondie Monique,
Mocha Mima, Ellen V.
Yes,
everybody. Hey, Blondie. I appreciate everybody.
Mocha is probably going to review that show I just talked about too, because she's the first one I heard say something about it. But Kamisha also went to the premiere party. Well, it wasn't a premiere party for the show, but it was Josiah. He's one of the guys on the show, and last night he got picked by one of the girls to come into the area with the guy, like come and be one of her connections. So he did a premiere episode party in their town, and Kamisha went to that. So check out that video on her channel. But right now we're gonna say goodnight to you guys, but I want you guys to go over to Maud Afro Mama.
I'm going right away.
She's interviewing Marvin's girlfriend from Ready to Love. So if y'all are interested like we are, we'll see you guys over there. So shout out to y'all
in the chats.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Peace.